Hi everyone, it's Lisa Mears. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, I'll be using the Stamps of Life February 2024 club items to make 5 cards. So I'll be working with the card kit as well as the stamp and die of the month. So let me first show you the Stamp and Die Hard Club for February. The set is called Flower Wreath. So here is some inspiration, and you always get the inspiration card with your club shipment. And here is the stamp set. So again, it's Flower Wreath, and it's a large wreath that consists of several different flowers. And there's 3 large sentiments: sending hugs, with love, and just because, and those can be stamped inside the wreath. If you're a member of the Stamp Club, you'll get the stamp, and if you're a member of the Die Hard Club, you'll get both the stamp and the coordinating dies. And both of these club shipments will ship out on the 1st of every month. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the card kit of the month. This card kit is called Greetings Friend. The card kit always gets shipped out on the 15th of every month. And if you want more information about the Stamps of Life clubs, I will have a link down in the description box where you can click on and check out more information. So here is the inspiration card for the card kit. So some cards that you can make using the contents of the kit. There's so much packed inside this card kit, and every month you always get a pack of envelopes for A2 size cards, as well as a large plastic storage envelope. You can put your card kit contents in that envelope, or you can store cardstock in there. Let's take a look at the cardstock that is included in this kit. You get 12 sheets of 8.5 by 11 sheets of the cardstock. You get 2 of the light purple, which is the pixie color. There's also 2 sheets of the darker purple, which is the grape cardstock. You also get 1 sheet of the light pink, which is the bubblegum cardstock. You get 1 sheet of the darker pink, which is guava. 2 of the yellow, that is the lemonade cardstock. And you also get 4 sheets of the powdered sugar, which is the white cardstock. Also included in the card kit is the Greetings Friend paper pad. You have the paper that says Greetings Friend. You also have the wreath that you can use the dies. If you're part of the Die Hard Club, you can use the dies to cut out that wreath as well as those flowers. There are several different plaid papers in this paper pad, and there's some smaller wreaths as well as some small flowers. You also get some solids in this paper pad. There are a few other colors that are in this paper pad that you did not see in the cardstock, such as the mint chip, the sage, and the sea glass. So this color palette is absolutely beautiful. I can totally see this color palette being used for spring or Easter cards. It's so pretty. I love all these beautiful plaids with all of the different color designs. They also threw in a sheet of horizontal hearts in all of the colors in the color palette. And you do get 2 of each one of the sheets that you see here. They are double-sided. And for the wreath that is already colored for you that you can use your dies to cut out, you actually get 4 of those that you can use on your cards. So here I want to show you, you also get the Greetings Friend word die, and the word die, when you cut it out with cardstock, it is a very similar font to what you see here in the paper pad. Also included are these square sentiment stickers in the same color palette as the card kit. You also get these holographic flower stickers in the same color palette. And you get this A1 mini scallop card die set, and it includes all of the dies that you see here to make an A1 size card. So the card base that you can cut out of cardstock has a scalloped edge. There's also some dies with flowers, some rectangle dies, and the word die that says love. You also get these large epoxy dots in the green, blue, purple, and pink, as well as these chipboard flowers. And you also get this pink ribbon. So that is everything that's included in the Stamps of Life card kit for February of 2024. I love the card kit because everything included coordinates all of the cardstock, all of the embellishments, and all of the pattern paper. There are lots of perks to being a club member, such as getting a welcome gift just for signing up, a club member discount on all purchases that you make in the Stamps of Life store, free gifts during the year, and club anniversary gift certificates. So if you want more information about the Stamps of Life clubs, head down to the description box of this YouTube video where you will find my affiliate link. And if you are interested in joining any of the clubs, I always appreciate when you use my links because it tells the Stamps of Life that I referred you, and I do get a small commission on any referrals at no extra cost to you. You can also use my code Lisa Mears when joining the club. Okay, so I'm going to make 5 cards using this month's club products, and I will have a coordinating blog post on my blog at lisamearsdesigns.com if you want more information about each card that I make today. Okay, so for card 1, I'm going to go ahead and use the dies for the wreath. I'm taking the large shadow die and I'm positioning it over the wreath on the paper pad, and I'm going to die cut this wreath. What I love about these coordinating dies is that you can die cut the entire wreath and leave the center with the white cardstock, or you can use the die that cuts out the center, which will remove that white cardstock from the wreath. I did use some mint tape to tape it in place so that the die doesn't shift in my die cutting machine, but you can see how it does die cut that entire wreath with the center cut out. In addition to the wreath, I'm going to also be using one of the rectangular dies on this A1 scallop card die set. One of the rectangular dies included is a just straight edged rectangle, and the other one has a stitching on it, which I always love dies that have stitching because it just adds so much more detail to your cardstock. So I die cut that stitched rectangle die out of the yellow pattern paper, and you can see that beautiful stitching. So in addition to that stitched rectangle piece of yellow pattern paper, I also have this white and blue pattern paper that I cut to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and I'm adding the stitched rectangle die cut on top of that, and then I'll add that layer to a piece of the yellow cardstock that I cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I'm going to put my wreath on top. You can see that you can use this card either horizontal or vertical, but I'm going to make this a vertical card. So I'll go ahead and glue my wreath down to the card front. If you wanted to, you can add dimension and pop your wreath up, but I wanted to make a flat card today. Flat cards are just easier to put in the mail. I die cut the greetings friend out of guava cardstock. This is the dark pink, and I'm gluing the words to the center of the wreath. So I wanted to mention this in case any of you want to try this idea, which I did not do today in my video, but since that wreath has the center cut out, you can always turn that wreath into a shaker. So just add some acetate to the middle, add some foam behind the wreath, and add some shaker pieces inside. I think that would be really pretty as well. I'm going to go ahead and add a glue dot to the back of this bow that I tied with the ribbon included in the kit, and that completes my first card. Okay, so here's another fun layout you can use with this wreath. I have a piece of white cardstock. I cut that to 2 3/4 by 5 3/8, and I'm adding it to solid yellow cardstock that's 3 inches by 5 3/8 inches. So when I layer those two together, they're even on the top and bottom, and there's just a little bit of yellow cardstock peeking out on both edges. I'm layering that layer onto a piece of purple pattern paper that I cut to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I'm going to include the wreath from the paper pad, and I'm also bringing in these bow dies from Scrapbookcom. I love these bow dies because there's so many options of bows that you can cut, from larger ones to smaller ones. So I die cut one out of the guava cardstock, and I'm going to use a coordinating ink color that matches the cardstock and just ink up the edges just to add some depth to that bow. I'm going to add that wreath to the top center of my card layer. Once the wreath is in place, I'll move that layer to my MISTI because I'm going to stamp a sentiment inside of the wreath, and any one of these sentiments will fit. And I'm choosing the Sending Hugs sentiment from the stamp set, so I'm just lining it up, and I'm going to ink it up with some black ink and stamp it down. Next, I'll go ahead and glue that bow to the bottom of my wreath. And you could totally stop there and add that to an A2 size card base, but I wanted to add some birds. And I have this stamp set from Pretty Pink Posh that the birds are just the perfect size for this wreath. So I stamped and colored 2 birds off camera, one purple bird and one yellow bird, and I added some foam to the back so that they're popped up on the front of the wreath, and I went ahead and added one to each side. And then finally I have these purple epoxy dots from a previous Stamps of Life kit, and I'm just going to add 3 to the center of the wreath. I'll add this layer to a white A2 size card base, and that will complete this card. So part of the pattern paper includes these flowers that you can die cut using the dies in the Die Hard Club, which I've already die cut some of those flowers and popped them up on foam, and I'm adding them back to the wreath. So I just wanted to show you here that you can layer those flowers up on the wreath just to make the wreath more dimensional. So I did a few of the flowers, and you can see here it does add some dimension. So for my next card, I have a piece of pattern paper that I cut to 2 inches by 4 inches. And I added it to a piece of white cardstock. The white cardstock is 4 by 5¼ inches. I did use the wreath die, the center part, and cut out a piece of sea glass cardstock. The sea glass cardstock matches that pattern paper, and I got that from my stash since it was not included in the card kit. However, there is a piece from the pattern paper pad that you can use if you wanted to cut into that. I'm stamping the sentiment with love inside of the center of the wreath. And you can see how that center, it'll fit perfectly inside of the center of the wreath. So if you wanted the center of only the wreath to have a different color, you can always do just like I did and just die cut the center portion out. Now before I add that to the card, I am going to take my ribbon and I'm just going to add a little border here separating the white cardstock from the pattern paper. And I'm going to take a piece of double-sided tape and put some on each end of my ribbon, and I'm just going to put the ribbon on the line that separates the white from the pattern paper and then wrap the ends around the back of that card layer. Now I'm ready to add the wreath to the top center part of that card layer. Now when doing this part, make sure that you add the center part with the sentiment first, because you want to make sure that sentiment is straight, and then add the wreath. If you add the wreath first, you might not have it exactly lined up the way that it needs to be. Next, I'll add that layer to an A2 size white card base. I made a bow out of the ribbon from the card kit, and I'm adding a glue dot to the back, and I'll add that to the bottom of the wreath. Next, I got some very small silver gems from my stash, and I'm going to add 3 of them around the sentiment. And that will complete this card. For my next card, I'll use the A1 Mini Scallop Card die set, and I'm using these layering dies in the die set. This flower die works like a background die, so I am going to die cut that out of the guava cardstock, and I'm going to have one of the solid rectangle dies around the flower die so that it cuts it out of the cardstock into a rectangular shape. If I don't use the solid rectangle die around it, it will not cut it out, it will just cut it into the cardstock. So I'm just lining this up here, and then I'm going to use some mint tape to hold it down, and I'll run this through my die cutting machine. I used the same rectangle die to die cut a piece of white cardstock, and that will allow me to layer this flower die cut piece on top of the white. So it puts a nice border around the design, and then it has those flowers, which are like outlines that are set into the corners of the rectangle. The A1 mini scallop card die set also comes with a die to cut the card base, and I cut it out of the sea glass cardstock that I have in my stash, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this background piece right onto the card base. So you can use this as a landscape card or a portrait card, it's up to you. And I'm also going to bring in one of the sentiments from the sticker sheet. This one I chose because it matches the card base, and I'm adding a piece of foam to the back. You can add it right on top and be done, and that would be a quick card. But I'm going to go one step further, and I'm going to bring out my pops of color. And I'm going to fill in the petals on the flowers using my pops of color because I just wanted to add a little bit more of a color pop to this card. Now another thing that you can do is die cut that flower die a few more times in different color cardstock and then just glue in the petals to this card. But I didn't want to have to worry about all of the different little cardstock pieces and trying to worry about which petal goes where, so I thought it would be easiest just to bring in my pops of color and then add it to the petals. Now the pops of color is a liquid embellishment, so it is wet, but I'm just gonna let my card dry flat, and once it's dry then I'll be able to add my sentiment and handle the card, and it will be fine. So you just have to wait for it to dry, but it will harden up. So the colors that I'm using, the purple is the deep orchid and the blue is the sky blue. I also have the sunshine, which is the yellow. That yellow I'm going to add to the center of all of the flowers. And the last color is the summer peach. So now everything is dry, so I'll go ahead and add my sentiment to the center. It says sending hugs because I miss you. You can see that when the pops of color dries, it does dry glossy. Here I just added some silver gems to the front of the card, and now I'm going to add a layer on the inside. So this die, the A1 mini scallop card die set, also comes with these standalone flower dies, and I die cut them out of the guava cardstock and I added them to the corners of this white rectangle. So I did die cut that white rectangle out of one of the rectangle dies in that die set. And now I'm just sticking this panel in my MISTI and I'm stamping out a sentiment in the center of that panel. So my sentiment says with love, and I'll just stamp that with black ink, and then I'll go ahead and add that to the inside of my card. And now my card is complete. So for this next card, I want to show you that you can use this flower background die to add to an A2 size card. I know that not everybody likes making A1 size cards because they're just a little bit smaller, but you can use that same die on an A2 size card. So here I die cut that die out of some of the grape cardstock, and I use the stitched rectangle die to cut it out so you can see the stitching along the edge. I used another rectangle die in the die set to die cut the yellow pattern paper, and I'm just going to layer the purple background piece onto the yellow pattern paper. I love that purple and yellow together. It's so pretty. Now I'm going to go ahead and add this to a piece of pattern paper. It's the flower paper that I cut to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, so I'll just add it to the center. And then I'll add that to a piece of the grape cardstock that I cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I'm adding that panel to my Misty and stamping a sentiment in the middle. My sentiment says sending hugs, and I just stamped that with some black ink. I'll add 3 of the pink gems to the center of the flowers. And then I'm going to add this to an A2 size card base. So I hope that I have given you some inspiration in using your club items. I would love for you to leave me a comment and let me know if you had a favorite card today. And once again, if you're interested in finding out more information about the clubs or you want to join, please use my promo code Lisa Mears and you'll get 500 bonus club points to spend in the Stamps of Life store. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like videos like this and want to see more, make sure you click that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so that you'll be notified every time I release a new video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.